Hello, I hope that you can see the video and hear my voice. My niece wanted to learn how to make a crazy patch quilt, and I'm doing this video so that she can see the way that I was taught. The way I was taught was that you use a foundation of some sort, like muslin. Some people have used some sort of stabilizer that they can run through their inkjet printers and have the same lines and same pieces, and then their pieces look uniform. It's Valentine's Day coming up, and I want to make a heart-shaped pillow. So I cut my muslin into a heart shape, and I've picked some different fabrics here. I have a dark, my black, a red, and if you look at the red, I can use these other colors if I wanted to. I could use a gray, I could use a pink, I could use this gold. It would all tie in because of this fabric that I'm using. I'm using my lights that I'm putting there are a white with a red pattern. I have this red that has hearts on it. I put a pink in for a lighter tone, and a black and white, and another lighter color that's white with the red on it, and this red. And this is a Christmas fabric, but it's going to look really nice in what we're doing here, because we're not using pieces big enough to even tell what the pattern is on the fabric. Now the first thing that you do is you take your fabric, and here's a scrap I already have, but you need to make it 5-sided. And so I'm just going to even this up a little bit. So there's one side. I'm going to do a slant. 2 sides. 3 sides. This little piece 4, and so I cut this off right here, and so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. I'm using my featherweight since my Bernina is set up to quilt a quilt, and so I thought that this was kind of fun. You do a crazy patch with my featherweight, and her name's Abigail. Okay, the first thing that I need to do is to take some fabric and cut a piece off. This is the one I already cut out of my book. I'm going to use this one. And what I'm going to do is kind of straighten this piece out a little bit, and I'm going to sew onto this piece first, and so it's about the size I need right there, and I'm going to make about this size of a patch. Okay. Abigail does not have a 1/4 inch foot, so I'm just eyeballing a 1/4 inch. I put right sides together on top of my foundation, and I'm just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance from one end of my fabric to the other. Now my iron's set up in the other room, but I can finger press and get a couple of these in there, but after a while I really want to press with my iron to get what I need. Now if there was a lot of excess here, I would trim that as well to reduce the bulk. So I'm going to finger press. Now I need a piece that fits in this area. And I'm going to take my white and red piece, kind of eyeball how far I need, One thing about fabric is you can always trim it off, but you can't grow it. So if it's too short, you're going to have to get another piece. Another thing that you can do when you're trying your fabrics is to just kind of take a look and audition it. See, you know, if you like how that looks. Just fold it back a little bit. See how that looks on there. See if you like the look it gives. And if you don't, you can just save this piece and do another one. Okay. Make sure everything's straight. About 1/4 inch. And I'm only going to sew to the end where they meet. Like so. Now, this one's not pressed real well, so I am going to run in and press that. So that's pressed. Now, I want to kind of stick with lines that can be covered, and so my thinking is here is that I would cover right along this piece right here. Or I can come down here and go from here to here with a piece, or come here with a piece there. But we're kind of building like a puzzle. Also, along here, I can trim that a little bit. Well, I'm going to leave that until I get my seam allowance on. So I think the next color I want to do is this heart piece. And what I'm going to do is I can fold that, kind of look at what that would look like right there. That's about, you know, how far of a piece I need to keep my lines going the way I want them. So we will trim there. Look at my fabric here. Okay, another piece. This has a curve in it, so I'm going to just straighten it up a little bit. Straighten that. Okay, I'm putting my right sides together again. And I'm just making sure that this is going to be stitched in, or I will end up with a gap and have to go back over it again. Now I'm only going to go as far as the shortest piece of fabric. So the shortest piece is my black underneath, and I'm only going to go that far. Oops. Okay, then I'm going to trim to kind of take some bulk out of here. And do you see why I only went as far as the black fabric? Okay. Finger press it. Now, when I look at this, I can kind of go across here with a piece. I could trim my main piece shorter, but I really don't want to do that. So I am going to come across with a piece here. I think the pink would be fun. of a longer piece. So I want to make sure I get a big enough piece in there and not short it. Trim my selvage off. Okay. Put it right here. And I kind of audition that piece. Alright. Now, here I can trim to a certain point. If I want to trim it farther, I'd have to unpick it, and I'm not fond of unpicking, so I really don't do it. I don't have to. I'm stopping at the shortest piece, which is underneath. Trimming. There you go. And then I can straighten this out. Okay. I can come in here and trim some of this up to reduce the bulk. And some of it I can't. So it just kind of depends what you want to do. So. There's that piece. Alright, I've used my reds, black and white might be cool. Black and white. Okay, I am going to do my black and white from here to here. There's a little bit of a curve, so I want to make sure that I get my line going. And catch all the fabric underneath. Okay. And there's that part. Now see, we're still working down here with this part right here. This is still my 5-sided piece, and so I'm going to want to go from here to here on that. So I'm going to trim it a little bit so it stays there in a straight line. It needs to be pressed. Here's one that I was working on, and this is my first one. I used a smaller piece right there, and I just didn't like that it kind of disappeared. So I made my 5-sided piece bigger this time. Okay. Looking good. Okay, I haven't used, I think I'm going to use the red.